Go into the fold and turn website layouts into an art form with Wix Studio. Create the grid you want, shaping every section intuitively. Go into the fold and get down to detail with the total control and pixel-perfect precision your vision requires. Repeat your designs at scale to get the momentum your project needs. And get down to detail with all the flexibility to adapt your layout across screen sizes instantly. Deliver faster and set your momentum your project needs. And get down to detail with all the flexibility to adapt your layout across screen sizes instantly. Deliver faster and set your momentum your project needs. And get down to detail with all the flexibility to adapt your layout across screen sizes instantly. Deliver faster and set your momentum your project needs. And get down to detail with all the flexibility to adapt your layout across screen sizes instantly. Deliver faster and set your momentum your project needs. With all the flexibility.
Hey family, what is up? Welcome, fam, to our Enter Tai Chi / Enter Shaolin Kung Fu Q&A. I'm your host, CJ Jamie. Sifu Fu will be joining me in a moment. We also have Sifu Larry in the house. He'll probably be popping in. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Oh, there he is. He's there.
I'm here.
Popping in. We're obviously here to talk about Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Qigong, Wing Chun, Chin An. No, that's not. And Tai Chi, and the Shaolin.
Axis, IRS.
Well, I guess that's the everything within reason. I mean, I really,
Where I'm gonna go with it.
I don't really want to talk about all that, but if you guys are interested, let me know.
Views as it is. We're good. We don't know more views. Man, I ain't looking like.
How much
Not good.
Well, I've been telling you
It's being
to,
good. Chicken
you
was
know.
good.
Was it good? Did you enjoy? I'm glad I got to feed the seafood tonight. I feel good.
Hey,
Well, family, if you haven't already, please let us know where you're coming in
Well, I
from.
am kind of good looking. You digging it?
I thought you said you did look good.
I changed my mind just like that.
As you can see, we're a goofy bunch here, but we do take our kung fu very seriously, but we are a little goofy and silly. So I hope you like to laugh and we hope you like to have fun. If you have been around for a while, go ahead and strike a like, share this baby on. It helps us to get more views, more than that 8 that Stephen there talked about. We get more than that, but help us share it out so even more people.
Subscribe to feel the vibe.
Subscribe to feel the vibe. I like that. And if you are new here, welcome. Let us know where you're coming in from as well. And let us know if you have any questions. Let's see what we have on right now. Sure. Right. Sorry, guys. My best friend must not remember that I have a live Q&A that I do because she just calls me. So, Lenora,
Let's see if Larry's here.
well, she's my girl best friend.
Oh,
Got a guy best friend and a girl best friend. So we're more like sisters, but not obviously blood related, but we're pretty much fam. We got a lot of doctors fam. So let's see who is on. We got Darren. And we also have Shalom. Welcome. And Shalom. And we also have Damian on. Darren is on. Oh no. Okay. Well, hey Darren, I'm sorry to hear about Jody. If you'd like, I can send you some information via email. You know how this lovely tube is. I can't really talk too much about what I recommend because they don't like that. So if she is interested in some ways to help pick that thing out the door, let me know and email me later on either Facebook or via support@mshellen.com. I'll be glad to share what helped us get through that. Melanie is also on. Good to see you, sis. And we also have John J is on. John M is on, coming in from South Jersey. Told coming in from Chi-Town, aka Chicago. For those of you around the world, I have no idea what I just said. And let's see who else is on. Darren, Darren, are you 100? Let me know. But hey, you're looking good for 100, and if Steve is 90, he's looking great too. So you guys are doing wonderful. Steve says I'm gonna do some qigong. Yeah, qigong's the secret, guys. Want more energy, you told me, more qigong. You just got off the graveyard, so that's not fun. That's not fun. That's so not natural. Not you just need to take care of yourself, brother. We are coming from Olaf, from the capital of the universe, Florida. Well, hey, that is my home state, so I don't mind if that's the capital of the universe. We got LT Newton coming in from Kansas, Vivian coming in from Philly. Though I will say the last few times I go back to Florida, it just was not the same, but it's probably because most people are no longer with us. So just didn't feel like the same home that it used to be. Damian, you're not too far from us, bro. Do you know you're only 45 minutes from us? Do you know that? Because I sure haven't seen you in. So you should. Are you part of the website? I see you're one of our YouTube subscribers. Which thank you so much for your support. Are you part of the membership? Because if so, you should be scheduling some time to come on in. There's people on this webinar right now that would be jelly to be 45 minutes down the road. We got Ann from Prescott, Arizona. I haven't seen your name before. I don't know if you are a new subscriber or just new to our channel, but welcome. And we also have James coming in from Virginia. So let me go back up and see what we got here. Damian did say, English speaking, membership is worth it. They have a whole statute of rare members only videos that are pure gold. Oh, okay. And you're a new member. Are you just a subscriber to YouTube or to entershaolin.com too? I don't recognize your name, which means I have not been on an orientation with you. If you're a member to Enter Shaolin and you haven't been on orientation yet, you are losing out. So if you are a member to entershaolin.com, let me know so I can make sure to send that over to you and get you signed up to an orientation so we can help you really take advantage of your membership. All right.
Yeah, Shalom has one.
Shalom. There we go. Sifu said, Shalom says, Sifu, when you use NDN to improve a style, what does it include? Just reproof or more things? All of our principles. Every single one.
The main thing I try to teach people is how to feel energy. No matter what style you are, you want to learn how to feel not theirs alone, but yours as well. How do you move inside your body, how to get out hands. Free proof is just one of the methods to do that.
Yep.
But the objective is to learn to control. That's the one word we always try to describe what we do. So I try to get people to feel energy more than anything else. A lot of people can create energy, and that's good. That's how you can be aggressive. That's how you can attack people. But what happens when they do that to you? So how do you turn that around? And that's the part of the training that I like to focus on with people, how to not just feel the opponent's energy, but know how to control theirs to use it against them.
Yeah.
So that's mainly what I like to do. And most of the time, I've been emphasizing a lot on the face, the elbows, because I see so many people lack that elbow. It's one of the biggest things, no matter what style I'm teaching from people, they always lack that elbow, that base drive. And it really is a huge difference if you can learn to get that in, because it's going to be more powerful, more controlled, more easily to manipulate the opponent's energy that way, to create better structure and create more energy coming from your arms.
Yep. And we got to remember too, Shalom, is our system's an energy of physics and energy principles. So with that being said, it doesn't matter if you're talking about Kung Fu, if you're talking about sports, if you're just talking about everyday movement activities, you can apply all these principles to the things that you do on a regular basis to make them easier, less wear and tear on your body, and more efficient and effective. So that's why we say, don't let style define you, let energy refine you, because it's not about the style. And we're not saying, hey, if you're doing karate, you need to quit, or if you're doing taekwondo or Krav Maga or whatever the case may be. We're just saying, hey, let us help you make that even better. So it's not just one principle. All the principles are let's see the other question. It's a very thing. And Melanie is coming in from Southern Utah. Mark says aloha from Portugal. That is also in my homeland. I hope to get to visit it one day. CB says, question, is it necessarily possible to deliver an elbow strike with the opposite hand arm covering? Or is it speed in and follow through? I always feel exposed with elbow strikes.
I'm not sure what the question.
So he's always basically he wants to know how to make sure to do his elbow strikes right. He says he feels exposed with them. So he says, is it possible to deliver the elbow strike with the opposite hand arm covering? So he wants to cover the other.
This and this you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm thinking something of that.
That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, yes, if you're going to guard with one to intercept, you can absolutely strike with the other part of the elbow. You don't have to strike with the same hand you intercept with, although it's possible you can do that. But it just depends on how you turn your wrist and turn your waist. Those are the two deciding factors. Which way you want to strike. For example, if she's coming at me with a punch, right, and I intercept this way and I put my energy this way, then it's easier for me to slip this way to come in either this way or just come in this way. It just depends on how I'm going to turn my body. And my wrist, the waist and the wrist, they work together. So it just depends on which way you're going to turn your wrist and your waist. So that's going to dictate what you should strike with what hand or what arm or what elbow, whatever. It could be your fingers, it could be your wrist, it just depends. And just understand that dictation lies in your wrist, not your shoulders. It's in your wrist. Wrist is the variable which we can change energy into. So this is how we, like, if I want to strike with my elbow, I don't throw my body, I actually rotate my wrist. If I want to hit my elbow from this side, I rotate the wrist. So I can strike this way. If I do it this way, it would be that. If I want to strike from this side to this elbow here, I would turn the wrist into this. So you can see my wrist turn to create that. I can do that from there. Again, it's all based on how you turn the wrist, as long as you have your base and drive that supports that. But it's your wrist that will dictate how you should be able to strike with your arms, and whether it's on the left or right, it doesn't matter. It just depends on how you turn your wrist and your waist. Okay, so if she throws a straight punch, I can go like this here. Like you can see, I go into this and into that. I can go from here like this and go into that. Again, it's all how I turn my wrist. So you can see the first time I intercept, right? I dump it and I notice how I'm turning my palm towards her, which allows my elbow to come in. Or I can do this and turn it this way and that way, and then use that to bring that towards the strike. Again, that just depends on which way you turn your wrist and the wings. And a minor factor is also which way you intercept, whether outside or inside as well. That can make a little difference. It's a very little difference, but it mainly is how you want to turn your wrist once you intercept. That's really the key. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and TB, if that is not, and you're thinking of something else specific, feel free to elaborate, or we can follow up in the members only webinar. And then, hopefully share the video and show exactly what you're talking about, and have those give you some pointers on how to make your elbow straight. Because it could be that the reason you're feeling exposed is because you're not even doing it right. You know what I mean? A lot of times I find when people are like, this feels like someone's gonna come through or this and the other, it's because there's something wrong with your structure. John J says, wow, if I was that close, I would be there every weekend. I bet you would, brother. I bet you would. Damien says, how many times should we do Qigong moves? Each of the 10 moves, 10 times each? I'm gonna
I recommend a minimum of 20 when you start off. You need to get that repetition for the body to get the muscle memory, to do it in a relaxed state, to do it in a natural movement muscle memory where you don't have to think about it anymore. Usually I do a minimum of at least 20 for everybody. Once you get better, you don't have to do as much because you're already in tune to your body's energy, your body's connection and everything. So it's like kind of lifting weights. You want to get stronger, you get pump really hard, but once you get to that level where you're strong where you want to be, you don't have to keep going higher. You can maintain it by just lifting within that realm there. If you want to get better, you might lift a little bit higher. It's the same thing with Qigong. This is the years and years of practice. Some beginner, he might have to do it 20 times before he feels it. Once you experience, you might only need to do it 2 times, 3 times to get the same effect because your body's already attuned and you can quickly feel it faster than someone who's inexperienced. So recommended, like I said, 20 minimum. You can do more, but in the beginning, I would definitely say at least 20 for your body feel. Some people might need more. Again, everybody's slightly different. 20 is like the average for people to get.
Yeah.
Some people might have to do more because they just have bad muscle memory. They don't have relaxed or tense all their life. Bad experience, whatever it could be. Bad slow learner. Different, but 20 minimum. As you get better, you can go less. Okay, because you're just like I said, higher tune. And you get it up real quick. So 20 minimum. That's what I recommend.
And I'm gonna add a little stuff on there. If you are sick or you're super stressed out, the idea is to get to a point where you don't have to count them out and you just feel it out. So there might be times that your Qigong session takes 10 minutes, but other times 15, 20, 30, 45. It's gonna be all based on what's going on in your life. And that also is how many times a day should I do it? I always tell people, if you want to be like Superman, do it 3 times a day. Or if you're super sick or stressed, do it 3 times a day. But if everything is going good and you're just like screaming along and you're super healthy and super energetic and life is just amazing and well, then 1 time a day or twice a day, everything's kind of good. I can echo sometimes. I don't know if there's anything that I could do about that. People there, apparently there's an echo on the mic. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything I can do about that.
That's my car. I will tell you that.
But yeah, I'll see if Larry can figure out what that is or if something anything at all. So it might just be our internet connection. It has been really stormy here the past couple of days. We're supposed to actually have a really big snowstorm. Thankfully, it's only been a rainstorm. Are you hearing an echo on your end? We'll figure that out and see if there's anything to do about it. It might just be, but it is what it is, y'all. So Zoom, unfortunately, is not the best at transmitting audio. So even though we have it connected to a professional system, a soundboard, then that Zoom is a little sketchy. We are trying to replace Zoom with something else, but we've had a really hard time finding applications that do the things that we need it to do and work with our equipment. So God willing, we will find something better. And according to SQL Larry, there's no echo on his computer. So I'm sorry wherever you're coming from that there is an echo. But pray about it. There we go. That's all we got. But yeah, back to the Qigong. It really is just about knowing what your body needs when it needs it and being honoring that and taking care of that. And like Steve said, if you don't feel the movement, then you're not even doing the keep off. So you got to get to the point where you're feeling the movement and then you can feel it out and you know exactly what your body needs and when it's fit. So that's really what we want to do. We want to go better at being a good listener to what your body needs. John says, can we get a quick refresh on the 3 C's and some drills to get better at it?
Okay, 3 C's is connect, control, and control. Okay. First thing, anytime someone's going to step, you meet with them, you have to connect. Okay. Then you have to know the type of energy you have to learn to work with it, not against it. But the control. Control is then being manipulated to what it is you're doing. Okay. So connect, control is good in sensitivity. Push hands is a great example. She's pushing at connection. Conform is when she's pushing it, I'm working with it. Rather than pushing it, I'm going against it. So we want to learn to work with them. And then the control, it lies where? Where's your control? Anybody know where you control from? You should know the control always comes from one part. Go ahead, don't be afraid. Write it out. Spit it out. Where's the control come from? I'll say it. Your wrist. Okay. So anytime we have a connection, okay, we have a contact. That's your connect. That's where we intercept it. Before means I'm working with her, like she's pushing me, let's say this way. I don't want to go that way. Okay. Wherever she's dictating, she's pushing like this more, or that more, like push it right. See, I'm working with her. Whatever she's pushing, I'm working with her. Okay. So if she's pushing my hand more, I don't want to push back. That's not conforming. That's resisting. Okay. Now, conforming is a form of yield, right? And the purpose of yielding is to. I don't hear anyone saying it. The purpose of yielding is to. Purpose of yielding is to.
I need that like sound.
You guys have a delay. What can I say? That just makes my day. Hey. Well,
right?
right. So the purpose of yielding is to take. Okay. So as I learn to yield, I must learn to take. I cannot yield alone because they'll just take. So to yield, if you're not taking, then you're going to be breaking. Okay. You must learn to take when you yield, otherwise it's a false yield. Now to take, it comes through the wrist. So we want to learn to work with the energy, and you know, I tell myself all the time, imagine on like an escalator, whatever pressure comes into you, you must drive it to the wrist. So even if she pushes my elbow down, I'm going to bring it to the wrist. She pushes any way she wants, I'm going to bring it to the wrist. You see, I'm like snaking it towards my hands. You see, I'm snaking it. So whatever she does, I will hook it towards the wrist, and then I should drive it to the wrist. Then I'll hook the wrist back to the point of contact. This is not hooking to the point of contact, by the way. That's reaching, that's extending. So you're creating a push move. And you can't create push or pull, you must learn to create press. So when I hook, I'm right there. I do not try to move her away from the hook or get away from the hook. I will hook right here. So whether she moves on, she pushes my, I will hook still there. See, I'm always hooking right here. No matter where she does, I'm hooking at that point. So this relative to the contact point, I will always hook right here. If she moves my arm in more, I will still hook and do that same thing as I yield. So the purpose of yielding is to take. So that's your third party safety form to control, right? So I connect, I conform, I control. So as she's pushing me, see, you can see I'm just moving with her, and then see I hook the wrist back. So whenever she's pushing me, I'm going to learn to work with her energy. So I don't take her energy, so when I do the push and basic, no, this way. There you go, much better. You're going that way. Conforming is not anticipating and going away, because again, that's a full move. You have to keep the pressure. So when you do the 3 C's, one of the key is the first thing I always say is having a consistency of pressure. You have to have a cop. You cannot get lighter, you cannot go greater in pressure. If you go greater in pressure, you actually fight it. If you get lighter, you're anticipating and pulling away. You must be consistent. And once you get the cop, then you can learn to do the 3 C's behind it. Because if you can't keep the cop, you cannot maintain the pressure, you cannot maintain the control. So this is like how you want to do the 3 C's. You have to have that consistency of pressure, then you have to learn how to connect, form, and pull through that. So a drill like this is a great way. So I'm gonna give you guys a simple drill that you can practice. It's one, there's tons of them, but I'll just give you one basic simple one. It's a grab and hit. So you're gonna start like this, okay? I'm just gonna grab her hand straight down. When that happens, she's gonna let me take her down and she's gonna bring that wrist right back up and just bring it right to my wrist with her wrist right there. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. Okay. Her objective is to maintain that pressure. And when I punch, she's just gonna raise her hand and pop it up. She's gonna do the same to me. I'm gonna let her take me down. So that's I connect and notice I stay where I am. I conform, I work with her. Like, let's do it again. Pull me down. I didn't conform. I resisted. So conforming is learn how to let them take you anywhere you want. And then when they punch, you just how to turn your wrist. So I go like this, I punch, she does it back. And then you just learn to do this. Okay, now you are going to instinctively, every one of you going to do it until you learn how to get your control better. Is when they grab you, you're going to want to instinctively try to bring it back. Everybody does this, okay? Because we feel the pressure take us, and our objective in our brain is to go back to where we were. No, you got to take advantage of that move. So I want to go here. So when she takes a hit on me, I'm right there. So when I do this and I punch her, she's going to bring it up. Now, when you guys bring it up, do not try to bring it back. In other words, she punches me. I'm not trying to get her hands out. Your mental state is to put your hands in. The goal is never to try to get their hands off you, punch me, to do this. See, that's defensive. Now she can take that advantage and then hook it down and take me from that. Okay. Or she can release it, whatever. There's tons of things. Your goal is to get your hands in. So when she punches me, so I want that intent to hit her. If you're doing this, you're not trying to hit, you're trying to defend. So make sure you always have the intent to hit. Remember, any techniques you do, it has to follow along 2 guidelines, right? It has to have the intent to hit, has to be done in half a second or less. So if you don't have that intent to hit, when we practice slowly, time doesn't matter. So that half a second, it doesn't really matter. That half a second matters in combat. But when you're practicing, you always have to have the intent to hit. Now, if you don't have the intent to hit, then more likely you're not going to have half a second or less. Okay, so if you break that intent to hit, you are going to break that half a second or less. So when she punches me, I just go up. I have my base, I have my hand. I pull her down, I do that. She takes me down, I just do this. So this is a basic way of doing this technique. And then you just learn how to feel. And notice my elbow is very steady. I don't bring my elbow like this, I don't pull my arm. I just pivot from the elbow and the wrist. Then I punch it, and that's how she counted it. See? So it's just like that. As you get better, you can go faster. So now as you get faster, you see how her sensitivity or skill level wasn't able to handle speed, and so she resisted. And so you only go as fast as where you can learn to conform. If you start to tighten up like that, it's too fast for them. You have to slow it down. So, and then as they get better, they will handle the speed. She can pull as fast as one. I can just learn to work with it because I have the feel for it. So you just learn to do this, and you just do that. And like I said, you are riding up the arm, not away from the arm, okay? Because you are going to do that. Everybody does that because we want to try to, and again, a mental state is defensive. She pulls me. I don't want to hit me. And so she punches me. I'm trying to get her hands out. Your mental state is never to get your hands out, or her hands out, or their hands out. It's to always get your hands in. So you got to keep that in mind. You got to change your mental state first. You're not defending or attacking or counterattacking. And that's what you want to keep in your brain. And when you're doing these practice techniques, it's not trying to get them away from you. You really are doing it for them. Your movement should be very small. If you guys are doing like pull me and then punch me, we're the same. I'm not saying pull me, punch, and you're doing like this. That's too big. Okay. Your movement should be very, very small. Smaller the better. Okay. Your wrist should only move no more than 2 inches. So this is all your wrist should move. If you're like this, then it's not your wrist, that's your arm. Okay. Your arm can move up, but notice the torque in my wrist is still about 2-inch torque. Okay. That's it. If you're like this, you're not torquing the wrist, you're throwing your shoulders or your arm. So make sure that your wrist is only moving with about 2 inches on the torque. So it's only like here. That's it. That's all you need. If you're like that, that's not your wrist. That's your shoulders, which is why you're swinging out. So when you get pulled, just straight out. Just within the 2-inch torque. Keep those rules and principles in your mind. Start practicing. Don't worry about how hard. Like she can grip me all she wants. It doesn't matter. You're not trying to get out. You're trying to get in. And you can guys, as you learn to practice that drill, you can pause so they're not getting caught in a pattern. So she's pulling me, and she's pulling my arm down, punches me. Then I do it to her, and I can pause. See, and then I can pause. Because people get caught in a habit like this. Pull me. I know it's like they start to go faster, faster, faster. Like I don't want you to go faster. for the sake that you can say, I can move faster. It's like pulling out a gun, drawing it for the other guy, but you can't aim for a squat. And you just miss. Drawing faster doesn't mean it's better if you don't have the proper accuracy. So this is the same. Moving faster without the control is still going to, as you get faster, you're just going to get sloppier. So don't do that. You guys can change variations of speed and timing and pausing to get you to feel better. But only go as fast as you can within technique. If the technique is compromised, slow it down. It's too fast. Okay, you go as fast as you want, but within technique. Technique gets compromised, slow it down.
Absolutely. And yeah, apparently a couple other people said that it's in and out with the echo. So I'm assuming it has to do something to do with our connection. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. Like I said, it's been like nonstop raining for the past couple of days. So even though Comcast business supposedly doesn't get affected by the weather, that has not been our experience for the past decade. So it is what it is. So sorry about that. And sorry, that's all I got. Nothing I can do about it. We'll just keep moving on. Let's see here. Hopefully that helps you out, John. And Dr. Robbie says, I have to go to the Virgin Islands for a week beginning of Tuesday. Anyone know of anyone to visit in St. Croix? Not me personally.
Lucky dog. Quit bragging, man. I'm stuck here in New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah, I don't personally know anyone that's out there that I could recommend to train with. Granted, there's not a lot of people around the world that we are really, you know, in connection with in regards to that. So I don't know if anyone else on here might have someone to recommend. I don't personally know anyone out that way. I don't even know if we have any members out that way. If we do, I don't know that we do. So let's see, afterwards, the Tai Chi Fu in Tai Chi, what is the difference between a first class and a second class and a third class lever? Or lever?
Lever. In terms of what? In terms of turning on the energy, could you further explain that to me? Like you're talking about how to control those 3 points, the mid, the base, and the wrist. Is that what you're talking about in the lever and the arm? Or are you talking about some skill level? Because if it's a skill level, I don't know what you mean by the first class, second class, third class. Or you talking about the form, first section, second section, third section. Please make it a little more clear so I can be better explain.
And for those of you that didn't know what I was talking about, I'm from the South. We call it lever, and he thought I was saying lover last week. And I had to bust on him and be like, what you thinking about seafood? And then he said anything about Berry. And that conversation went south real quick. So, so yeah, let us know Akbar. And then LTV said, awesome. So he said, the explanation helps immensely. Thank you very much. And Melanie says, CJ's mic does have an echo sometimes. Elevated Intelligence says, greetings, everyone. So greetings to you as well. Damien says, excellent, good stuff. Let's see, John Dave says, I think it's a connection, probably so. Let's see. Going.
Jacob has a.
Jacob, what if she grabs you by the chest and brings you to her?
Okay. General rule, if someone brings me and I know I'm in a fight. Now, it all depends on the scenario. Like if it's somebody who's my friend, he just gets aggressive, he pulls me and I don't want to hurt him, that's a different story. But if you know you're in a fight, if someone's trying to hurt you, the simple, easiest way to deal with someone who grabs you and pulls you is put your forearm right in their face, in their nose as they pull you. So you pull me, just walk right on in and bring your forearm right to the face. That's the easiest answer I could tell you, or strike him in the throat. She pulls me, I bring my hands right up and I jam her right in the throat. Her hands are here, it's occupied, it's not striking me, it's being aggressive to pull me, but it's not doing anything to hurt me.
I mean, like,
so no, people do grab because they think that they can control.
I know they do,
we
but
grab to
our
control.
arms free.
Right.
So
Well, people think
nuts.
that you're not going to attack. Some people will grab because they want to do that intimidation factor.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people hold a gun in your face. They do it to intimidate you, not necessarily they want to shoot you. They just do it to put you in control. So if this is a scenario where I feel like, hey, why are you grabbing me? I feel like I am fighting for my life, or I feel like she's trying to hurt me. Yeah, if she's pulling me in, strike them or strike them. Use the throat, thumb here, go right to the throat and jam them and use that energy. As she pulls me in, I'm just gonna. I want to also, by the way, I also want to pin the arm
right there, right into there.
Yeah. I also want to do that. I also want to create a pin on the arm, and the reason why, because I do want to have some form of control over them. okay? It keeps me stable for one thing. So if I'm just striking like this and she yanks me to the side, she could pull me. But when I do this and she yanks me, and I get that control, I can use it to create pivoting and anything that she tries to throw me, pull me more, I can use this as a pivoting point to create this control and use it as a lever to control it on a pivot. So you want one hand to be on target and the other one to create the strike. Again, it's up to you. It all depends on the distance you have. If I'm far, she's grabbing me from far away. She pulls from me. Oh yeah, I got the time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just pin the hands right on top. But I just need to just kind of just get over here and just lay it on. I don't have to hold them, prevent them. I just want the control. Because if she's trying to move me in any way, I have the ability to twist her wrist. So I'm not trying to get her hands off. I'm not trying to stop her from using it. I want to be able to manipulate it and make it used for what I want. She's the gas pedal of the world's most powerful car. She'll say how fast she wants to go, when she wants to go. Big deal. I'm the steering wheel. I'm going to tell it where to go. And so when I do this, I'm trying to like control the pressure. And when I do, I can use that to create strikes off my target. Okay. So if someone ever is pulling you and you're in that situation, like I said, where you feel like you have to fight, it's a threat level high, go ahead and strike. If it's a friend, you don't really want to strike them. You don't want to hurt them. Pin the wrist, create a turn. It prevents them from being able to control you as easy. It does turn their threat away from you. So she's pulling me, pin it, just rotate it. So I have her pinned. The thing she can do is like headbutt me if she has to, but I do have my arms here. Again, I don't want to hurt her. Let's say, like I said, it's a mistaken identity. She thought maybe I cheated on her or something like that. And it was somebody else. And then you know, we're not together. No, I'm just saying, like anyone, not my situation, but in your situation.
Wild right now.
Well, like you just create this pin and turn. You pin, turn. Again, if you can control the wrist, you can take away their arm strength. If you go like this and you grab their arm, they can still turn the wrist and pull and push you very easily. If you can control the wrist like this, it's very difficult for her to do.
Yeah.
Okay, she can create pressure, but again, if she does that, I can turn her wrist
You're
to take
locking
away
me in,
to
basically.
take her ability to control me. She can use the force, but I'm the one who's going to direct the force. So that's to me, that's the easiest way. Now, there's other techniques too, like going inside, outside. I don't want to get too much. I'm using the most simplistic, easiest way. How to get out if someone's grabs and push me. I pin and create a strike. That's the easiest way if you're in like a threat level fighting situation. If it's a situation when you don't want to hurt them, you can hook inside the wrist, outside the wrist, inside, outside. There's all kinds of ways. But get control of the wrist, pin the wrist, make sure the wrist is compromised, and bring them either together because then they can't turn their wrist to affect you as easy.
Hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. John S says, I'm 14 years into being son and love how you guide people. You're definitely on my visit bucket list for practitioners to visit. Well, that's awesome. I would say, James, if you're coming to visit, be a part of the website so you can train with us so you can make the most of your time. Our members also get discounts. We happen to have a really big sale going on. It ends tonight at midnight. It's entershaolin.com/renew. I'll make sure to put the link in the comments. Trust me, it's more than worth it. We have a lot of our Abbott members on here and they can testify to that. Melanie says, so you're making a wedge that allows you to get the strike in.
I think that she was talking about that.
Yeah, talking about that.
I don't know what to call. I wouldn't say a wedge because a wedge is where you put something in and you prevent them from coming in. I'm not creating a wedge. I'm creating a point of control. So when she's punching me, I'm actually turning her energy off. I'm not trying to prevent her from punching me. Like I'm trying to prevent her. I'm actually going to use it. And she punches me, I can turn it, and that's why I can take her down, because I can use that down. Now, I don't have to take her down. This is just a drill, like I said. The reason why we want to have the hands there is because we want to have that influence of control on that point. And it's not just this. There's different types of drills. But again, your wrist is how you control energy. It's not the arms. The arms create structure. It creates pressure. It creates intent. But it's the wrist that creates the focus. It creates the control, and it's what allows you to convert energy. So the wrist is there for those three reasons, right? We talked about the wrist. It does those three things, FCC, right? It has to be able to focus the energy. It has to be able to convert the energy. It has to be able to control that energy. So that's why you have to get your wrist on your target. So whether it's on the outside like this, if she grabbed me here when I'm on the inside, so instead of being here where I'm on the outside, if she's here, I'm on the inside. I'll grab it this way. It's easy for the camera to see. So I'm actually going to go the inside. If you're going against their thumb, their hands are free to come in to hit you. You have no pressure on them. See, when I do this, I have pressure on them. So I can just immediately hook into them and get them. But again, I put this pressure on them. So if they let go, I can feel their intent and I can immediately put the pressure. And if I feel her swing my arm, pull me anywhere, I can now have that pressure to convert the energy back. So that's why you want to get your wrist there. That wrist is very important because this is how I can manipulate the pressure on point all the time. It's always through the wrist.
Yep.
Okay. Arms create, like I said, structure. It creates pressure. It creates intent. It's the wrist that focuses the energy, converts the energy, and controls the energy. That's why I want my wrist always on. Now, it doesn't mean I have to be on contact. I just have the wrist to be alive so it can turn the arm to make contact point to create the pressure on my opponent. So what I mean by that is if she grabs me here, yeah, you can see my hand. But if she were to grab me here like this, I would still turn my wrist to make the arm. Can you see my arm, the bone hitting into her? So I don't have to touch her with my wrist. I just have pressure on that. So when she's punching me, I'm right there anyways. So it's the same thing here. If I was like this. Now, see, right now you're going here. You're supposed to be here, pivoted. That's it. That's much better. There you go. That's much better. Because you were like this. That's not in front. That's in the palm. You can't put pressure in their hand. You're actually going to allow them to get stronger. So if I do this, she's going to get strong. I go like this.
Right.
Doesn't matter. So this is like I said, this is a way you can see whether you can turn the wrist or not. Because if I do it like this and she holds me really tight, and I feel her pressure get strong on me, I did not go to my palm and turn. I actually drove to her arm. I drove into her arm. See when I do that? No, don't let me turn you. Don't let me turn you. See, right now you can see me pushing into her arm. I didn't push her arm. I went to my wrist and I turned her arm. I did not push against her arm. You never want to push against someone's arm unless you know they lack skill and they're weaker than you. Then you can muscle. But when they're much stronger than you or better skilled than you, it's going to be to your disadvantage if you try to push into the arm. You got to go around the arm and torque into them. You always attack through the torque, never through the line. If you do the line, it's strength. Do the torque, it's skill.
Right on, right on. All right. Let's see. Oh, sorry, that just scrolled on me crazy amounts. Okay, so there was that one. Let me find our questions. Okay, there we go. You can call me. Tori said, does it have a kind of spirituality? Are you talking about our system? Because if not,
This is just all energy. It's physics. This has nothing to do with a spirituality. I know there's people.
I mean, these are universal laws that God's created,
Right.
if that's what you want to talk about, but it's not based on a religion. These are just
Let's just
universal laws that
there
were
is
created
no
at the beginning of
there's
time.
no godly force that makes your martial arts better. It's all physics. Okay, so there's no outside force that does any spiritual. Those spiritual people who do pray to spiritual gods, it's hoagie baloney.
We're not doing none of that.
It's not even real anyways.
We have members that are
what you
Muslim,
believe does not
atheists,
change
Christians,
what you do.
Jewish, Wicked, it don't matter.
What you believe does not change the reality of what your energy is doing. It has your thoughts does not change reality. If I'm muscling, I don't care if I pray to this or that or what I think or what I feel. It's not going to change the fact that I'm muscling. If I'm forcing on them, it's not going to change no matter what you believe. Physics is physics. It's all physics.
So hopefully that helps you. And guys, I did drop the link to the sale. It's $2,200 off if you do the one-time payment for the lifetime access to InnerShaolin.com's training vaults. Lots of bonuses for the Abbots, and there's going to be a special offer for InnerShaolin 2.0's community for our Abbott and VIP members. So check that out if you haven't already. If anyone needs me to extend it for a day for them, I can probably do that. Just email me at support@innershaolin.com and let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. Let's see. Darren says, I've been graded by lifting their shoulders and controlling their energy. They have gone from aggressive to what's going on? I don't want to be here anymore. I love that. That's a great one. Darren is one of our Abbott members and one of just our awesome family members. And he's definitely proof in the pudding. You know, we actually had someone write in, they're like, how can I do this if I live in another country? Darren lives in another country. A lot of our members live in other countries. You do not have to be here to be able to learn and grow. You do need to plug into the system. You do need to show up. You do need to utilize your resources and get critiques like Darren does, and you will make improvements. So there's a lot we can do with our long distance learners. So don't freak out if you're not in our backyard. Most of our members are not. Let's see. John J says, LOL, I had a friend try to grab me. He ended up on his back, wondering how he got how he got in front of me from behind. I was asleep in a chair and he thought it would be funny to try something. Well, joke's on him, huh, John? That's awesome. Damien says, question, just wondering, why haven't other martial artists caught on to the wrist powers to concentrate on the wrist, I guess, or shoulders?
Because most people, when they're taught by teachers, they tell them to use the shoulder, so they're not questioning it. It works for them because the size and strength matters. They can see the improvement on it.
Yeah.
But anybody who's ever done that, who's come to my school, and they realize that, like, holy cow, it makes it's a higher level.
Yeah.
And most people don't know it. When people wear gloves and they're taped, it's hard to use the wrist. That's why people start to tell you to use your shoulders. Because if you don't use your wrist, you will use your shoulders. So when people are like in boxing, they wear the gloves, they have the hands taped, they cannot articulate the wrist. It's difficult to impossible because it's so taped up. So they will train on using their shoulders more. That's just how it naturally became. So a lot of sports are gloved and wrist taped. So they start developing that technique on the shoulders, and that's
I actually have
how
a
it
really
became.
great analogy. Steve Larry used to say this. If you are brand new, right, to martial arts and you go into 10 different schools and every instructor beats you up, then what's the truth, right? You don't know the truth because all of them beat you up. So you're going to assume all of them are right and they all know what they're doing. And then it's going to be a matter of which person you liked more or which style you liked more. And then you're going to join. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. End of story. Here. We have well, actually, we're a couple minutes late. We're supposed to be heading over to the members only webinar, but let me just run through this real quick and see if there's anything else we can answer. If we didn't answer your question, if it's something too long, I will save it and we will answer it at the top of the hour next week. So Darren says that was meant to be grab, darn thumbs. I figured it out. You're good to go, brother. All right. And then Damien said to John, okay, you guys are working. Awesome. Klaus Matt, so good evening from Germany. Good evening. Unfortunately, you're catching us towards the end, but if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comment section and I'll take care of you. Oh,
He does have a question.
oh, there you are. I remember, when will 2.0 change for me? Well, it won't switch over to you because it's a completely different system. So it's something you're going to have to sign up for. The tentative date is going to be talked about in the members only webinar that is coming up next. So if you don't have a link to that and you didn't get the email, please send me an email real quick to support@entershaolin.com and I will send you the link. Make sure that you're sending the email from your email that can verify your membership account, okay? That way no one tries to sneak in that's not supposed to be there, you know what I mean? Members only. But go ahead and do that and we'll be talking about that date in there. Hey, Toby says, unfortunately, I have no choice but to use gloves. There is other parts of what we do that you can still use. And there is, you know, some workarounds. I know we talked a little bit about that with you, Adi Tolby, in the members only webinars. So if you need a refresher on that, we'll talk about that in the Zoom in a little bit here. John says, I kind of live in another country, Tennessee. It's not like other places, not as extreme as Texas yet, but close. That's true. Depending on what state you are in the US, it is like another country, some to very much extremes. That is factual. And LT2, LT newbie, I can't even see that for some reason. LT newbie says, yes, exactly. All right, fam. Well, if you're not a member yet, again, we have that sale going on. You can save up to $2,200. That's a pretty big savings. You get lots of really cool stuff, access to our training vault for life. You definitely want to go check that out. If you're not a member already, go to entershaolin.com/renew. If you love the things you see on YouTube, I promise you, you will love being part of our membership even more because we leave no stone unturned. All right, members, we're going to see you in a couple minutes. Everyone else, God bless. Peace, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye for now. Bye.